I'm Largo. Today we're going to take a look at Doctor Strange, the Multiverse of Madness trailer. I am a little behind on my MCU stuff. I have not seen all the shows or all the movies. I think the last show I saw was the Loki show, which was great. And the last movie I saw was the Spider-Man movie with the multiple Spider-Man. Loved it. Great movie. And at this point, I'm ready for some more Doctor Strange. I'm ready for some more multiverse and variants of characters. Let's go ahead and take a look at this.
Every night, I dream the same dream.
Melting Sanctorum.
And then,
Oh! America Chavez.
the nightmare begins. I did what I had to do
Ooh, he's playing with some chaos magic now.
to protect our world.
You cannot control everything, Strange. You
Sam
opened
Raimi.
the doorway between universes.
Melting
You
cities.
don't know who or what will walk through it.
Wanda,
Scarlet Witch.
what do you know about the multiverse?
Viz had his theories. He believed it was dangerous.
Amartage. Oh, Minotaur Man.
He was right. I'm sorry, Stephen.
Baron Mordo. Good to see him again.
Desecration of reality will not go unpunished.
What is it? Is that Ultron Bots?
We should tell him the truth.
Was that my man, Patrick Stewart?
Things just got out of hand.
Things just got strange.
You break the rules. Look out! To become the
That's
hero.
ShumaGorath?
I do it. I become the enemy. It doesn't seem fair.
All right. Okay. Wow. Wow, there's a lot of stuff to unpack on that. All right. Okay. We got to roll this back to the beginning, and we're gonna go through it. We're gonna go through it scene by scene here because there's a lot. There's a lot I want to get into here. All right. So we start
Every night.
waking up, and here we get a good shot. What looks like the Sanctum Sanctorum, all by itself, and it's kind of melting off into the sky. Very reminiscent of what we saw in the What If episode featuring Doctor Strange, where he kind of destroyed everything and his reality was melting apart, just like this. We see that they have added a small field of blue to the back of Strange's cape, it looks like. Not entirely sure why. From a story standpoint, from a visual standpoint, it's probably so that we can differentiate him between any other version of Strange that we see. But from a story standpoint, not sure why that's there. Bunch of bones and skulls. Looks like everything is dead.
I dream the same dream.
Right? Going into the sanctum.
And then,
Okay. So it looks like that is probably America Chavez who's being tied up here, and she's opening a star portal. America Chavez is a cool character. She's pretty interesting. She's relatively new to the whole, in comparison to other characters in comic books. She's relatively new, but she's pretty cool. She comes from a completely different dimension, a different reality from our own. And she has the unique capability, well, unique to her. I think other people in her race can do this, but she particularly has the ability to open star portals. It's exactly what it sounds like. It's a portal in the shape of a star, which you can kind of see here. But she doesn't just open portals that go from point A to point B. No, her portals she can do that. She can go from point A to point B. She can open up a portal and go from her living room to her bedroom or kitchen or whatever. But the real cool thing about her portals is her interdimensional portals. She can cross dimensions. She can go to other realities with her portals, which makes it very clear why they chose to have her in a movie about the multiverse. You know, all these multiverses, and now you've got a character who can at will just jump between them. She's going to be very important to the plot of this movie. Now, what has got her here? Not 100% on this. Not quite sure. Judging by the way that she's kind of tied up on all of her limbs and the kind of ribbon-like appearance of this, off the top of my head, first thing that comes to mind is maybe the Crimson Bands of Cyttorak. But the thing that makes me doubt that is, to my knowledge, the Crimson Bands of Cyttorak are not sentient and do not operate on their own accord. So unless this is being controlled by something else, I'm not really sure what or who this is. Here we got a version of Strange. Looks like he's falling through one of those star portals.
The nightmare begins. I did what I had.
All right, now we've got a shot of Strange. Looks like he's toying around, playing with some not dark magic, chaos magic. Chaos magic is the type of magic that's used by Wanda Maximoff, the Scarlet Witch. And it looks like Strange is kind of dabbling with chaos magic now. And we see him slam that magic down into a book, so he's probably in possession of the Darkhold at this point. The last time we saw the Darkhold, Wanda had it. She had it at the end of the WandaVision series that she got from Agatha Harkness, and she was in possession of the Darkhold. So we saw in the trailer Strange talking with Scarlet Witch. Whether he takes the Darkhold from her or she gives it to him, I don't know. But in this scene, he has it and he's using chaos magic. So it'll be interesting to see what goes down here.
To protect our world, you cannot control.
My boy Wong! You gotta love Wong. Who doesn't love Wong? Come on, bro.
Everything strange. You opened the doorway between.
So here we got another shot. We can again see a better image of the blue field on his cape. And then, of course, we have the melting city. Very reminiscent of the What If episode again.
Between universes. And we don't know who or what will walk through it.
Wanda.
And then we get this scene here. Kind of the way they introduce it with Wanda meditating and then opening her eyes when she hears his voice. Kind of leads me to believe that this scene here in this orchard or whatever it is, this might be an astral projection conversation where the two of them are astral projecting to each other to have this conversation. Now, I mean, it's, for him, it's the wave of the hand to open up a portal and go to her. But it might also be an astral projection conversation.
Viz had his theories. He believed.
Now we got some kind of ominous cloud or storm coming towards Kamertage. Everyone here look like they're locked and loaded for battle, so this is probably going to be a big battle.
It was dangerous.
We got Minotaur Man here. Don't know his real name. I do know he is a real character in the Doctor Strange mythos, so he's not something that was just made up for the movie. He is a real character. And it's kind of cool to see him thrown in here.
He was right.
sorry, Steve.
Baron Mordo. Glad to see Baron Mordo's back in the MCU doing stuff. I like the changes that they made to Baron Mordo for the MCU. I think the actor that portrays him is doing a great job. And I'm ready to see some more Mordo.
Steven.
More Melting City. And here is where things get really interesting. We see Strange being cuffed by some very high-tech looking restraints.
Will not go up.
Now, the first time this trailer rolled through, I almost thought it was the TVA, the Time Variance Authority from the Loki series that had captured Strange. But judging from the appearance of the facility here, it's a much more modern aesthetic, as where the TVA had this weird like 1970s kind of aesthetic going on. Why would you be like one of the most technologically advanced things in the universe and have like a 70s aesthetic? It's weird. I don't know. But so this is much more modern looking. And then we get this shot where we see he's being escorted by Ultron Bots, guys. Ultron Bots. Man, this opens up so many questions, a lot of possibilities. My goodness. Who built these Ultron Bots? Was it an alternate version of Tony Stark from a different reality? Are we going to get a version where, much like the comics, Hank Pym built Ultron and the Ultron Bots? I don't know. It's a multiverse. It could go either way. We could get a version of Tony Stark that successfully created Ultron, and Ultron didn't go rogue in his world, and Ultron became a global protector. Or could be Hank Pym, or it could be neither. All I know is we're seeing some Ultron Bots, which is cool as hell. Their eyes are yellow, which leads me to believe that it's not, evil Ultron, because evil Ultron always has red eyes. So this looks like some kind of good, or at least neutral, version of the Ultron Bots. Very cool, very interesting. I have so many questions that I need answers to. And then we get this. Here we get Strange walking into a room with some kind of council or some kind of what's the right word that I'm looking for? I don't know, some kind of council. There's got to be, from the spacing here, there's got to be at least 6 seats here for 6 people. Which brings up the obvious question. Are we going to see an MCU version of the Illuminati? I don't know. This could be the start of that. In the comic books, there's a group called the Illuminati, and it's made up of very prominent members from across the Marvel universe. So we get, Reed Richards from the Fantastic Four. We get Tony Stark, Namor the Submariner. There's been versions with Doctor Strange, of course. T'Challa. So Xavier has been on there. The thing is, several characters from the comic version of the Illuminati haven't even been introduced to the MCU yet. We have not seen even a hint of Reed Richards or the Fantastic Four yet. No mention of Namor the Submariner. Black Bolt of the Inhumans was an original member of the Illuminati. He has been introduced in a TV show, but the TV show was not well received, so I don't know if we're going to see him. They could easily put him in. I mean, it's really easy to do. Black Bolt doesn't have any speaking lines, so that's pretty easy to kind of just fit in there. So this may, in fact, be the Illuminati, the start of the Illuminati, and the reason I say that is because of the very next thing we hear, which is...
We should tell him the truth.
My boy, that is Patrick Stewart. Patrick Stewart. That means we're getting Xavier. We're getting Charles Xavier of the X-Men. And man, oh man, you want to talk about the tip of an iceberg? Adding the mutants to the MCU is going to open up so many possibilities for characters and stories and teams. Oh my goodness. I hope this is our first introduction to the mutant population because, oh man, so many things that they could do. Now we see Strange and America Chavez falling through dimensions, I assume. Here we got some kind of prehistoric thing going on with a T-Rex and a Triceratops in the background going at it. And then we got Strange and Chavez going through a portal and into some kind of cube reality. And man, look at the CG on this. Look at Strange's mouth, where the mouth separates, splits the tongue and the teeth. Man, cool effect. It's this is actually really reminiscent of the Infinity Gauntlet story arc, where Thanos uses the Infinity Gauntlet to turn, I think it was members of the Guardians of the Galaxy into cube blocks, just like this. And Ribbons, I believe he turned a character into Ribbons. But that's very reminiscent of this scene here. Now we have the two Stranges. I'm assuming that this is inside of the melting Sanctum Sanctorum that we saw at the very beginning of the trailer. And we have the two Stranges here conversing with each other. Our Strange has the cape with the blue field on the back. It looks like the Dark Strange here is not even wearing a cape.
Things just got out of hand.
Some might say, things just got strange. Okay, now we have this here, which
Things just got out of hand.
at first glance, the way this character is breaking through the wall and just shattering it to pieces, and has what looks like a body covered in flame with blue hands ready to just project energy. Obviously, to anyone who's been following the MCU, this looks like Captain Marvel. However, I don't think it is Captain Marvel. I do not think it is Captain Marvel. It doesn't really make sense for Captain Marvel to be in this movie. Captain Marvel is a character that usually deals with alien threats, cosmic threats, or technological threats. Captain Marvel is usually not involved with magic or mysticism or, you know, the mystical side of Marvel. Not where you usually find her. I'm not saying it's 100% impossible, but I really don't think that this is Captain Marvel. Who could it be? The only character that I think that this could be is, we saw a character introduced in the WandaVision television show by the name of Monica Rambeau. Monica Rambeau in the comics goes on to become a hero called Spectrum. Spectrum has the ability to create, project, redirect, and absorb energy and light. So she's capable of pulling off a lot of things that Captain Marvel does. She can fly, she can shoot beams of energy, she can create an energy aura around herself. She can make herself look like this. So I would say it's Monica Rambeau, because it's a character who has been introduced to the MCU already through the television show. She, at this point, has her superpowers now. She's capable of doing everything that we see here, and she has a pre-existing relationship with Wanda Maximoff. So I think this is Monica Rambeau as the character Spectrum. And she's come to maybe deal with Wanda again, because maybe they brought her in because they knew she was one of the persons that came in to help deal with her in Westview. So, who knows? But I would put my money on this being Monica Rambeau and not Captain Marvel.
You break the rules. Look out!
Oh, okay. So we got this thing here. This looks just like a character called ShumaGorath. ShumaGorath is an ancient entity. I would say the closest thing off the top of my head that I could compare him to, that a lot of people would know, would be something like Cthulhu. ShumaGorath is supposed to be like a large, incredibly powerful, like eldritch being of immense magical power. So while this does look like ShumaGorath, my only concern here is I don't think that this is ShumaGorath proper, like the actual full version of ShumaGorath. I think this may be like a part of him, a fraction of him, an aspect or an avatar of ShumaGorath. But it's definitely not the full, real, 100% eldritch energy being that is ShumaGorath. It could be an entirely different character altogether. But judging solely on the appearance, this looks like ShumaGorath. That buzzsaw move is awesome. Here we get a shot of Strange looking at a statue of himself in what appears to be a peaceful, idyllic world. Lots of plant life going on, bright, vibrant colors. I'm assuming that in this reality, Doctor Strange is maybe its greatest hero. Maybe we'll get to see a version of Doctor Strange that's very successful. And then maybe another version of Strange that is dark and has failed. I'm really interested.
I do it, I become the enemy.
Two versions of Wanda. This appears to be in the Westview home from WandaVision. It'll be a very interesting interaction between these two to see the dialogue, to see what Wanda would say to herself about experiencing her own pain and her own loss of her children. Like, think about that. How would a future version of yourself confront a different version of yourself that's going through a pain that you've already been through? Like, very interesting to see. Very interesting. It'll be awesome to see how these two interact and how it plays out.
That doesn't seem fair.
Little Mordo fight. America Chavez in the battle. A dark version of Strange with some like dark miasma arms going on. Okay, wow. I'm ready. My hype level just went up. I want to see more, man. I want to see more versions of Doctor Strange. I want to see more versions of other characters. I'm glad that the MCU and a lot of comic movies in general have finally moved past the point where we don't need every movie to be an origin story. We can finally just bring characters in and let them develop as they go. And we're getting to the point where we're getting multiple timelines, multiple realities, many different variants and versions of the same character. And I'm loving it. As a comic book fan, I absolutely love the expansion of the MCU that's going on right now. And I hope you guys loved this video. If you did, please like and subscribe, and most importantly, comment down below. Let me know what you want me to view next. Go ahead and leave any suggestions down below, and I will get to them as soon as I can. And thanks for stopping by.